The Stoic's Guide to Serenity, a path to inner peace in a chaotic world. Welcome to a journey into the heart of Stoic philosophy, a timeless guide to cultivating inner peace amidst life's inevitable chaos. This isn't about escaping to mountaintop meditation retreats, but about embracing a practical, everyday serenity that empowers you to navigate the complexities of modern life with grace and resilience. Drawing inspiration from ancient philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, we'll explore actionable steps to integrate Stoic principles into your daily routine, reduce stress, and cultivate mental fortitude. From traffic jams and canceled trips to significant life challenges, these insights will help you remain calm, centered, and in control, regardless of external circumstances. Forget the solitary meditations at mountain peaks. We're talking about real daily clarity. These lessons are more than just educational content. They're a daily, comprehensive life curriculum. It is an investment in your well-being, a daily, comprehensive life curriculum that transcends mere education and becomes a cornerstone of your existence. 1. The one path to serenity, embracing control and its limits. Let's dive into the pursuit of peace in this chaotic world. We're not talking about meditation retreats or chanting Lamb on a mountaintop, although if that's your preference, go for it. We're focusing on a practical, everyday kind of serenity that can help you navigate life's ups and downs with a little more grace and a lot less stress. The secret sauce? It's all about control, or rather, the lack thereof. Here's the deal. Life is messy. Things happen that are totally out of our control. Traffic jams, bad weather, that jerk who cut you off in line. And if we're not careful, these external events can hijack our emotions and send us spiraling into a pit of frustration and anxiety. But here's the kicker. The only thing we can truly control is our own minds, our thoughts, our beliefs, our reactions. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. It's a crucial distinction to make, one that separates needless anxiety from empowered action. Imagine your mind as a garden. You can't control the weather that comes and goes, but you can control what you plant, how you tend to the soil, and how you prune the branches. Similarly, in life, you can't control external events, but you can control your inner landscape. How do we put this into practice? First, know your circle of control. Imagine a circle. Inside that circle are the things you have direct control over: your thoughts, your actions, your choices. Outside the circle are the things you can't control: the weather, other people's opinions, the stock market. Focus your energy on what's inside the circle and let go of what's outside. This requires conscious effort, a deliberate redirecting of your attention. Second, accept what you can't change. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means recognizing that some things are simply beyond your influence. Instead of fighting against reality, learn to accept it with grace and equanimity. As the Serenity Prayer goes, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Imagine you're baking a cake and the oven malfunctions. You can't control the oven's failure, but you can control how you respond. You can get angry and frustrated, or you can accept the situation and find a different way to bake the cake, perhaps using a different oven or even adapting the recipe. The point is, acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means adapting to reality with a calm and resourceful mind. Third, choose your response. When faced with a difficult situation, you always have a choice in how you respond. You can react with anger, frustration, and resentment, or you can choose to respond with calmness, compassion, and understanding. As Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, famously said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." This space is where Stoicism truly shines. It's the pause, the conscious decision to not be swept away by immediate emotion, but to thoughtfully choose a response aligned with your values and goals. Consider a scenario where a colleague takes credit for your work. Your initial impulse might be anger and resentment. However, you can choose to respond calmly and professionally, addressing the situation directly with your colleague and your supervisor, while also focusing on the quality of your future work. This response not only protects your interests, but also maintains your integrity and inner peace. Let's explore some real-world examples. The traffic jam Stoic. Stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic? Instead of cursing and honking, take a deep breath and use the time to listen to a podcast, practice mindfulness, or simply enjoy the forced break from the daily grind. The canceled flight philosopher. Flight canceled? Instead of throwing a tantrum, take a moment to assess your options. Can you rebook on a later flight? Is there a hotel nearby where you can rest and regroup? Remember, getting upset won't change the situation, but it will make you miserable. The laid-off optimist. Lost your job? Instead of wallowing in self-pity, use this as an opportunity to reassess your career goals, learn new skills, and explore different paths. Remember, setbacks are often the seeds of new beginnings. Serenity isn't about avoiding life's challenges. It's about facing them with inner strength and resilience. By focusing on what we can control, accepting what we can't, and choosing our responses wisely, we can find peace even in the midst of chaos. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't merely an ancient philosophical notion. It's a practical tool for navigating the complexities of modern life. 2. Circle of control. Your personal Zen zone. Expanding influence through focused action. The circle of control. No, it's not some new age woo-woo stuff. It's a practical tool that can help you stress less, worry less, and focus your energy on what truly matters. Picture this. Imagine a circle. Inside that circle are all the things you have direct control over. Your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, your choices. Outside the circle are all the things you can't control. The weather, traffic, other people's opinions, the economy, that annoying song stuck in your head. This concept isn't new. The ancient Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius were all about focusing on what's within our control and accepting what's not. They knew that trying to control the uncontrollable is a recipe for frustration and misery. Imagine yourself as an archer. You can't control the wind, the rain, or the movement of your target, but you can control your aim, your draw, and your release. Similarly, focusing on what you can control in life allows you to maximize your effectiveness and minimize wasted energy. So how does this help you? First, stress reduction. When you focus on what's inside your circle of control, you naturally worry less about what's outside. You stop stressing over things you can't change and start focusing on what you can do to improve your situation. This doesn't mean ignoring external problems. It means approaching them with a clear and focused mind. Second, empowerment. Realizing you have control over your thoughts and actions is incredibly empowering. It means you're not a victim of circumstance, but an active participant in your own life. This sense of agency allows you to take responsibility for your well-being and to proactively shape your future. Third, better decision-making. When you're clear about what you can and can't control, you make better decisions. You focus your energy on the things that will actually make a difference and let go of the rest. This allows you to allocate your resources more effectively and to avoid getting bogged down in unproductive pursuits. Consider a student preparing for an exam. They can't control the difficulty of the exam or the performance of other students, but they can control how much they study, how well they understand the material, and how they manage their stress levels. By focusing on these controllable factors, they can maximize their chances of success. Let's explore some real-world examples. The job interview. You can't control whether or not you get the job, but you can control how well you prepare, how you present yourself, and how you follow up. Focus on those things and let go of the outcome. The health diagnosis. You can't control getting sick, but you can control how you respond. You can focus on getting the best possible treatment, maintaining a positive attitude, and making healthy lifestyle choices. The social media storm. You can't control what people say about you online, but you can control how you react. You can choose to ignore the negativity, engage in constructive dialogue, or simply log off and focus on something more positive. While you can't directly control everything outside your circle, you can often influence it. For example, you can't control the weather, but you can control whether or not you carry an umbrella. You can't control other people's opinions, but you can control how you express your own. By focusing on what you can control, you often gain more influence over what you can't. Imagine yourself as a leader. You can't directly control the behavior of your team members, but you can control your own leadership style, your communication skills, and your ability to create a positive and supportive work environment. By focusing on these controllable factors, you can influence your team members and create a more productive and harmonious workplace. The circle of control is a simple yet powerful tool for living a more peaceful and fulfilling life. It's about accepting the reality of what you can't change and focusing your energy on what you can. As the Serenity Prayer says, "Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference." This isn't a passive acceptance. It's an active engagement with the world, focusing your energies where they can have the greatest impact. It is a recognition of agency and a conscious choice to not feel overwhelmed by circumstances. Take a moment to draw your own circle of control. What's inside? What's outside? Where are you spending your energy? By focusing on what you can control, you'll find yourself less stressed, more empowered, and better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. It's a continuous assessment, a constant refocusing of your mental energy towards productive spaces. 3. Cut the strings that pull your mind. A DIY guide to mental freedom. Reclaiming inner sovereignty. Let's talk about puppet strings. No, not the ones you see in Marionette Show. We're talking about the invisible strings that pull our minds in all sorts of directions, leaving us feeling stressed, anxious, and out of control. What are these strings, you ask? They're the external influences that constantly bombard us. The news cycle, social media, advertising, peer pressure, societal expectations. They're the voices in our heads that tell us we're not good enough, smart enough, or successful enough. They're the fears and insecurities that hold us back from living our best lives. These strings are insidious. They whisper doubts, amplify anxieties, and subtly steer us away from our authentic selves. They create a sense of unease, a constant feeling that we're not quite measuring up, that we need to be more, do more, have more. Why do we need to cut these strings? Because they're keeping us from being truly free. They're limiting our potential, clouding our judgment, and preventing us from finding inner peace. As a philosopher Lao said, "To attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain wisdom, remove things every day." Wisdom, in this context, is the ability to discern what's essential from what's merely noise. Cutting these strings is about decluttering the mind, freeing yourself from the unnecessary burdens of external pressures and internal limitations. It's about reclaiming your inner sovereignty, becoming the master of your own thoughts and actions. So how do we cut these strings? First, awareness. The first step is to become aware of the strings that are pulling your mind. What are the external influences that are causing you stress or anxiety? What are the internal voices that are holding you back? Once you identify them, you can start to loosen their grip. This requires honest self-reflection, a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths about the influences that are shaping your thoughts and behaviors. Second, question everything. Don't just accept things at face value. Question the messages you're receiving from the media, from your peers, from your own thoughts. Are they true? Are they helpful? Are they serving your best interests? This is about developing a critical mind, the ability to analyze information and to form your own independent judgments. Third, set boundaries. Learn to say no to things that don't align with your values or goals. Limit your exposure to negative news and social media. Surround yourself with positive influences and supportive people. Boundaries are essential for protecting your mental and emotional well-being. They're the lines you draw to define what you will and won't tolerate, what you will and won't allow into your life. Fourth, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being present in the moment without judgment. It helps you become aware of your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. Regular mindfulness practice can help you detach from the strings that pull your mind and find a sense of inner calm. Mindfulness is about cultivating a non-judgmental awareness of your present experience. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them, recognizing that they are merely passing mental events, not necessarily reflections of reality. Fifth, cultivate inner strength. Build your resilience and self-confidence. Learn to trust your own judgment and make decisions based on your own values, not on what others think or expect of you. Inner strength is about developing a solid sense of self, a deep-seated belief in your own abilities and worth. It's about recognizing your own inherent value, independent of external validation or approval. Let's explore some real-world examples. The news junkie. Feeling overwhelmed by the constant barrage of negative news? Limit your news consumption to a specific time each day or switch to more positive sources of information. The social media scroller. Constantly comparing yourself to others on social media? Take a break from the apps or unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. The people pleaser. Always saying yes to things you don't want to do? Learn to set boundaries and prioritize your own needs. The worrier. Constantly worrying about the future? Practice mindfulness techniques to bring yourself back to the present moment. Cutting the strings that pull your mind is an ongoing process. It takes effort, awareness, and a willingness to challenge your own beliefs and habits. But the rewards are worth it. By freeing yourself from external influences and internal limitations, you can live a more authentic, joyful, and fulfilling life. As the Buddha said, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can, and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. This is about taking responsibility for your own well-being, recognizing that you have the power to shape your own destiny. 4. Peace is in staying the course. Your GPS for a chill life. Navigating with values and purpose. Finding peace in a world that's constantly trying to throw us off balance. We're not talking about some hippy-dippy go with the flow kind of peace. We're talking about a deep-rooted serenity that comes from knowing your values, setting your goals, and sticking to your guns even when the going gets tough. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us we're not doing enough, not being enough, not having enough. We're lured by the shiny promises of social media, the fear of missing out, FOMO, and the pressure to constantly reinvent ourselves. This constant pressure can be overwhelming, leaving us feeling scattered, directionless, and perpetually dissatisfied. It's like being on a hamster wheel, running faster and faster, but never really getting anywhere. The ancient Stoics had a different approach. They believed that true peace comes from aligning our actions with our values, focusing on what we can control, and accepting what we can't. As Seneca put it, tranquility can't be grasped except by those who have reached an unwavering and firm power of judgment. The rest constantly fall and rise in their decisions, wavering in a state of alternately rejecting and accepting things. This unwavering and firm power of judgment is the key to staying the course, remaining steadfast in your values and goals despite the external pressures that try to pull you off track. Imagine yourself as a ship navigating a stormy sea. You can't control the wind or the waves, but you can control your rudder and your sails. By knowing your destination and keeping your course aligned with your compass, you can navigate the storm and reach your desired port. So how do we stay the course in a world that's constantly trying to distract us? First, know thyself. What are your core values? What are your long-term goals? What kind of person do you want to be? Take some time to reflect on these questions and write down your answers. This will be your compass, guiding you through life's storms. Your values are the fundamental principles that guide your decisions and actions. They're the things that are most important to you, the things that give your life meaning and purpose. Second, set your sights. Once you know your values and goals, create a plan to achieve them. Break down your big goals into smaller, actionable steps. This will give you a sense of direction and purpose, even when things get chaotic. Goal setting is about translating your values into concrete actions. It's about identifying the specific steps you need to take to create the life you want. Third, stay focused. It's easy to get sidetracked by the latest trends, fads, and shiny objects, but remember, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Stay focused on your own path, even if it means saying no to things that don't align with your values or goals. Focus is about being selective, about choosing to prioritize the things that are most important to you and to let go of the things that are merely distractions. Fourth, embrace the suck. Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But instead of giving up, embrace the suck. Learn from your mistakes, adapt to new circumstances, and keep moving forward. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward even when things get tough. Fifth, celebrate small wins. Don't wait until you reach the finish line to celebrate your progress. Acknowledge and appreciate the small wins along the way. This will keep you motivated and remind you that you're on the right track. Celebrating small wins is about acknowledging and appreciating your progress, no matter how small. It's about recognizing that every step you take, every effort you make, brings you closer to your goals. Let's explore some real-world examples. The marathon runner. Training for a marathon is tough. There are days when you want to quit, when you feel like you can't go on. But if you stay the course, trust the process, and keep putting one foot in front of the other, you'll eventually cross that finish line. The entrepreneur. Starting a business is a roller coaster ride. There are highs and lows, successes and failures. But if you stay true to your vision, persevere through the challenges, and learn from your mistakes, you'll eventually build something you're proud of. The artist. The creative path is often lonely and uncertain. There are times when you doubt your talent, when you feel like giving up. But if you stay committed to your craft, keep creating, and never stop learning, you'll eventually find your voice and make your mark on the world. Peace is not a destination, but a journey. It's about staying true to yourself, even when the world is trying to pull you in different directions. It's about finding your own rhythm, your own pace, and your own path. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. It is about honoring your values and pursuing your authentic goals. It is about understanding the ephemeral nature of external validation and relying instead on your own intrinsic compass. 5. Never do anything out of habit. Break free from the mental chains. Cultivating conscious awareness. Habits, no, not the good ones like brushing your teeth or exercising. We're talking about those sneaky, unconscious patterns of behavior that can trap us in a rut and keep us from living our best lives. Ever wonder why you always reach for that bag of chips when you're stressed, or why you mindlessly scroll through social media for hours on end? It's because our brains are wired to create habits. They're like little shortcuts that save us mental energy, but they can also lead us down some pretty unproductive paths. As the philosopher William James put it, habit is thus the enormous flywheel of society, its most precious conservative agent. In other words, habits keep us stuck in our ways, even when those ways aren't serving us anymore. These mental chains can restrict our potential, limiting our ability to adapt, innovate, and explore new possibilities. Breaking free from our habits allows us to gain awareness, expand our choices, and live more intentionally. So, why break the habit? Habits can be comforting, but they can also be limiting. They can keep us from trying new things, exploring new possibilities, and growing as individuals. As the saying goes, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. Breaking free from our habits allows us to gain awareness. When we break a habit, we become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. We start to notice the triggers that lead us down certain paths and the consequences of our choices. Awareness is the first step towards change. It allows us to step back from our automatic behaviors and to examine them with a critical eye. It enables us to see the patterns that are shaping our lives and to make conscious decisions about whether or not we want to continue them. Habits narrow our focus and limit our options. By breaking free, We open ourselves up to new experiences, new perspectives, and new ways of being. Expanding our choices is about creating more possibilities for ourselves, about refusing to be limited by our past experiences or by the expectations of others. It's about embracing the unknown and being open to new opportunities. When we're not running on autopilot, we can make more conscious decisions about how we want to spend our time and energy. We can choose to focus on activities that bring us joy, fulfillment, and growth. Living more intentionally is about taking control of our lives, about making conscious choices that align with our values and goals. It's about living in the present moment and being fully engaged in the activities we're doing. Let's explore some real-world examples. The coffee zombie. Do you find yourself reaching for a cup of coffee every morning without even thinking about it? Try switching to tea or simply going without for a few days. Notice how you feel and whether you actually need that caffeine fix. The social media addict. Do you mindlessly scroll through social media whenever you have a free moment? Set a timer for how long you'll allow yourself to browse, or try deleting the apps from your phone for a week. See how it affects your mood and productivity. The couch potato. Do you find yourself plopping down on the couch every evening after work? Try taking a walk, reading a book, or engaging in a hobby instead. Notice how it changes your energy levels and overall well-being. These are just a few examples of how habits can creep into our lives and control our behavior. By becoming more aware of these patterns and by consciously choosing to break them, we can reclaim our freedom and live more intentional lives. How to break the habit, the fun part. First, identify the habit. What's the habit you want to break? Be specific. Instead of saying, I want to stop being lazy, say, I want to stop watching TV for more than an hour a day. Specificity is key to success. The more clearly you define the habit you want to break, the easier it will be to track your progress and to stay motivated. Second, understand the trigger. What triggers the habit? Is it stress, boredom, a certain time of day, or a particular environment? Once you know the trigger, you can start to avoid it or replace it with a more positive behavior. Triggers are the cues that set off our habits. By identifying these cues, we can disrupt the habit loop and create new patterns of behavior. Third, replace the habit. Don't just try to stop doing something. Instead, replace it with a new, healthier habit. If you want to stop snacking on junk food, replace it with fruits and vegetables. If you want to stop scrolling through social media, replace it with reading or spending time in nature. Replacement is a powerful technique for breaking habits. It allows us to satisfy the underlying need that the habit was serving while also creating a more positive and fulfilling outcome. Fourth, be patient. Breaking a habit takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you slip up. Just pick yourself up and keep going. Remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal. Patience is essential for success. Breaking habits is a process, not an event. There will be setbacks and challenges along the way. But if you stay persistent and committed to your goal, you will eventually succeed. Habits are powerful, but they don't have to control us. By becoming aware of our habits, understanding their triggers, and replacing them with more positive behaviors, we can break free from the mental chains that hold us back and live more intentional, fulfilling lives. As Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So, choose your habits wisely and create a life that reflects your values and your goals. 6. Reboot the real work. Ditch the hustle. Find your flow. Reclaiming meaning and fulfillment. Let's cut the crap and talk about real work, not the endless grind, the hustle culture, the rise and grind mentality that's got us all burnt out. We're talking about the kind of work that lights you up, that makes you feel alive, that leaves you feeling satisfied at the end of the day. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to be more productive, to do more, to achieve more. We're glued to our screens, checking emails, scrolling through social media, juggling multiple tasks at once. But all this busyness doesn't necessarily equate to meaningful work. As the philosopher Seneca put it, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested. We must differentiate between working hard and working well. The latter demands a level of introspection to align our efforts with our values. In a way, Seneca is urging us to be thoughtful stewards of our time, to treat it as the precious and finite resource that it is. So, how do we reboot our approach to work and find more meaning and fulfillment in what we do? First, define your real work. What are you truly passionate about? What are your unique talents and skills? What kind of work makes you feel like you're making a difference? Take some time to reflect on these questions and identify your real work, the work that aligns with your values, your passions, and your purpose. Defining your real work is about identifying what truly matters to you, what makes you feel alive and engaged. It's about aligning your career with your values and your passions so that your work becomes a source of meaning and fulfillment. Second, ditch the distractions. In today's hyper-connected world, distractions are everywhere. Emails, notifications, social media, the endless stream of information vying for our attention. Learn to set boundaries, turn off notifications, and create dedicated blocks of time for focused work. As the saying goes, work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. This concept is also known as Parkinson's Law. The key to overcoming this is to set deadlines and to create an environment that minimizes distractions. Ditching the distractions is about creating an environment that supports focused work. It's about setting boundaries with technology and with other people so that you can fully immerse yourself in the task at hand. Third, embrace deep work. Deep work is the state of focused concentration that allows us to produce our best work. It's about eliminating distractions, setting clear goals, and immersing ourselves fully in the task at hand. As Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, puts it, clarity about what matters provides clarity about what does not. Deep work is about focusing your attention on a single task for an extended period of time, without any distractions. It's about creating a state of flow where you're fully engaged in the activity and performing at your peak. Fourth, find your flow. Flow is that magical state where you're completely absorbed in what you're doing, time seems to disappear, and you're performing at your peak. It's the sweet spot between challenge and skill, where you're pushing yourself but not overwhelmed. To find your flow, choose tasks that are both challenging and engaging, and create an environment that minimizes distractions. Fifth, prioritize rest and recovery. Real work isn't about burning the candle at both ends. It's about working sustainably, taking breaks, and prioritizing rest and recovery. As the saying goes, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Rest and recovery are essential for maintaining peak performance and preventing burnout. It's about taking breaks throughout the day, getting enough sleep, and engaging in activities that help you relax and recharge. Let's explore some real-world examples. The writer's retreat. Many writers find that they're most productive when they disconnect from the world and immerse themselves in their work. They might rent a cabin in the woods, go on a silent retreat, or simply turn off their phones and close their email for a few hours each day. The entrepreneur's morning routine. Many successful entrepreneurs have a morning routine that sets them up for a productive day. This might include meditation, exercise, journaling, or simply enjoying a cup of coffee in silence. The artist's creative rituals. Many artists have rituals that help them get into the creative flow. This might include listening to music, lighting candles, or taking a walk in nature. Rebooting the real work is about shifting your focus from quantity to quality, from busyness to meaning, from hustle to flow. It's about doing work that matters, work that lights you up, work that leaves you feeling fulfilled and satisfied. As the poet Mary Oliver put it, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? It is about prioritizing activities that replenish your energy. 7. See the world like a poet and an artist. Unleash your inner creative genius, cultivating wonder and inspiration. Ditch the mundane and dive into a world of wonder. We're not talking about art school or poetry slams, although those are cool too. We're talking about a mindset shift, a way of perceiving the world that can transform your everyday life into a masterpiece. Ever notice how kids see the world with such wonder and curiosity? They're fascinated by the smallest details. A ladybug crawling on a leaf, a cloud shaped like a dinosaur, the way sunlight filters through the trees. Kids are unburdened by the weight of expectations and can find magic in the ordinary. Somewhere along the way, we lose that sense of awe and wonder. We get caught up in the daily grind, the to-do lists, the endless stream of information bombarding our senses. But what if we could recapture that childlike wonder? What if we could see the world through the eyes of a poet or an artist? The ancient Greeks had a word for this, theoria, which means contemplation or speculation. It's about looking beyond the surface of things, seeing the hidden patterns and connections, and finding beauty in the ordinary. As the philosopher Plato put it, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, but what if we could train our eyes to see more beauty, more meaning, more magic in the world around us? Seeing the world through the eyes of an artist is not about having technical skill, but about having an open mind and a willingness to see the world in new and unexpected ways. It's about cultivating a sense of curiosity and wonder, and about finding beauty in the ordinary moments of life. So how do we cultivate this artistic and poetic vision? First, slow down. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to rush through life without really paying attention. Take some time each day to slow down, breathe deeply, and simply observe your surroundings. Notice the colors, the textures, the sounds, the smells. Second, look for patterns. Poets and artists are masters at finding patterns and connections in the world around them. Look for patterns in nature, in architecture, in human behavior. Notice the way light and shadow play on a building, the way a flock of birds moves in unison, the way a smile can light up a room. Third, embrace metaphor. Metaphor is the language of poetry and art. It's about seeing one thing in terms of another, finding similarities in seemingly disparate things. For example, a sunset might be described as a fiery canvas, a rainstorm as a symphony of nature, or a city skyline as a concrete jungle. Fourth, cultivate curiosity. Ask questions, explore new ideas, challenge your assumptions. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and try new things. The world is full of surprises waiting to be discovered. Fifth, practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity and a powerful source of inspiration. Take some time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small they may seem. Gratitude helps you to see the world with a more positive and appreciative eye. Let's explore some real-world examples. The commuter poet. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone on your commute, look out the window and observe the world around you. Notice the way the sunlight reflects off the buildings, the way the trees sway in the wind, the way people interact with each other. Write a haiku or a short poem about what you see. The urban sketcher. Carry a sketchbook with you and capture the essence of your surroundings in quick sketches. Don't worry about perfection. Just focus on capturing the feeling of the music moment. The mindful eater. Instead of wolfing down your food, take a moment to appreciate the colors, textures, and flavors. Notice the way the food smells, the way it feels in your mouth, the way it nourishes your body. These exercises are all about shifting your perception and engaging with the world in a more mindful and appreciative way. It's about training your senses to see the beauty that's all around you, waiting to be discovered. Seeing the world like a poet and an artist is about more than just appreciating beauty. It's about cultivating a sense of wonder, curiosity, and creativity that can enrich every aspect of your life. As the poet William Blake said, "To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in a music hour." Cultivating that appreciation is about embracing a perspective shift, embracing the understanding that beauty and inspiration lie in the mundane. 8. Wherever you go, there your choice is, your inner compass in a chaotic world, reclaiming inner freedom through conscious choices. Let's talk about freedom, not the flag-waving fireworks, exploding kind of freedom. We're talking about the kind of freedom that lives inside your head, the freedom to choose your attitude, your thoughts, and your actions no matter where life takes you. We often think that our happiness and well-being depend on external circumstances, our job, our relationships, our bank account, the weather. We believe that if only we could change our circumstances, we'd finally be happy. But external circumstances are constantly changing. They're like the weather, unpredictable and often out of our control. That pursuit of external validation can be an endless and ultimately unsatisfying chase. The ancient Stoics knew this all too well. They taught that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to choose our response to whatever life throws our way. As Pettis put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This doesn't mean we should passively accept whatever happens. It means we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, and let go of what we can't. It's a subtle but profound shift in perspective, one that can transform your entire experience of life. It is an understanding that, although we can't control the world around us, we can control our own inner landscape. So how do we exercise our power of choice in everyday life? First, recognize your freedom. No matter where you are or what you're going through, you always have the freedom to choose your attitude. You can choose to be positive, optimistic, and hopeful, or you can choose to be negative, pessimistic, and cynical. Second, reframe your perspective. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Third, focus on what you can control. Instead of dwelling on things you can't change, focus on what you can do to improve your situation. Take action, make choices, and move forward. Fourth, practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity and despair. Take some time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small they may seem. This practice is about training your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life, even in the midst of challenging circumstances. It's about recognizing the blessings that are already present and about appreciating the good things that you have. Let's explore some real-world examples. The traffic jam Stoic. Instead of cursing the traffic, use the time to listen to an audiobook, practice mindfulness, or simply enjoy the forced break from your busy day. The laid-off optimist. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, use the opportunity to explore new career paths, learn new skills, or start a passion project. The cancer patient. Instead of giving into despair, focus on the things you can control, your attitude, your treatment plan, your support system. Find joy in the small things and cherish each moment. It's a simple yet profound truth that can transform your life. By recognizing your freedom to choose your response to any situation, you can find peace, joy, and meaning even in the midst of adversity. As Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, famously said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing. The last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." 9. Reignite your thoughts. Upgrade your mental software. Cultivating a growth mindset and unleashing creative potential. Let's talk about the power of thought. Not the think positive fluff you see on Instagram. We're talking about the raw, unfiltered power of your mind to shape your reality, your experiences, and ultimately, your life. Your thoughts are not just fleeting mental events. They're the very foundation of your reality. They shape your perceptions, influence your emotions, and drive your actions. The mind as a muscle. Think of your mind like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weak and flabby, but if you challenge it, exercise it, and feed it the right nutrients, it can grow stronger, sharper, and more resilient. As the philosopher René Dirt famously said, "I think, therefore I am." But what if we took a step further and said, "I think, therefore I create"? Our thoughts are not just passive reflections of reality. They're active forces that shape our world. Just as an artist uses their thoughts to create a masterpiece, we can use our thoughts to create the life we want. But our creative power needs constant maintenance. Why reignite your thoughts? Our thoughts can be our greatest allies or our worst enemies. They can lift us up or drag us down, inspire us or discourage us, empower us or imprison us. When our thoughts become stagnant, repetitive, or negative, we get stuck in a rut both mentally and emotionally. Therefore, we should learn to reignite our thoughts. Reigniting your thoughts helps us break free from limiting beliefs. We all have beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. Some of these beliefs are empowering, while others are limiting. By challenging our assumptions and questioning our beliefs, we can break free from the mental chains that hold us back. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. By embracing a growth mindset, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and challenges, and we become more resilient in the face of setbacks. Creativity and innovation. Our thoughts are the building blocks of our creativity. By expanding our thinking, exploring new ideas, and connecting seemingly unrelated concepts, we can spark our imagination and come up with innovative solutions to problems. Let's explore some real-world examples. The entrepreneur's pivot. When faced with a failing business, an entrepreneur with a growth mindset will see it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and pivot in a new direction. They'll challenge their assumptions, question their strategies, and come up with innovative solutions to turn things around. The artist's breakthrough. An artist who's stuck in a creative rut can reignite their thoughts by experimenting with new mediums, exploring different genres, or collaborating with other artists. By pushing their boundaries and stepping outside their comfort zone, they can spark their creativity and produce groundbreaking work. The student's aha moment. A student who's struggling with a difficult concept can reignite their thoughts by seeking out different explanations, asking for help from a tutor or teacher, or simply taking a break and coming back to the problem with fresh eyes. By persevering and approaching the problem from different angles, they can eventually achieve a breakthrough. Here are some actions that you can practice to reignite your thoughts, your mental workout routine. First, challenge your assumptions. Question your beliefs, your biases, and your preconceived notions. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? Are there other perspectives I haven't considered? Second, seek out new information. Read books, watch documentaries, listen to podcasts, attend lectures, engage in conversations with people who have different views than you. The more you expose yourself to new ideas and perspectives, the more your thinking will expand. Third, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. By cultivating mindfulness, you can become more aware of your thoughts and feelings, and you can learn to detach from negative thought patterns. Fourth, embrace curiosity. Ask questions, explore new interests, try new things. The more curious you are, the more your mind will grow and evolve. Your thoughts are not just fleeting mental events. They're powerful forces that shape your reality. By reigniting your thoughts, you can break free from limiting beliefs, cultivate a growth mindset, enhance your creativity, and live a more fulfilling life. As the philosopher Socrates said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." So go out there and learn something new. Your mind will then thank you for it. Your thoughts are the lens through which you perceive the world. Conclusion. That's a wrap for today's journey into Stoicism and finding inner peace. Remember, life throws all sorts of challenges our way, but by focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't, we can navigate these ups and downs with grace and resilience. It's not about avoiding difficulties, but facing them with a strong and steady mind. Next time you're in a tough spot, take a deep breath, reflect on your circle of control, and choose your response wisely. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This encapsulates the key to Stoic tranquility, the unwavering power to govern our internal reactions, irrespective of external turmoil. The journey to a Stoic existence is a path paved with self-awareness, acceptance, and conscious choices. It's about recognizing the ephemeral nature of external circumstances and anchoring your well-being in the unshakable foundation of your inner self.